So what do computer science teachers do on 2 days when there's snow? Well, on day 1 I did a lot of marking, but on day 2 I did some planning, and in the afternoon I decided to get on with a project that I've waited for a long time to do and just didn't have the time, and that is to program LCD screens. This is a simple LCD screen. It's 16 characters by 2. It's got a little control chip in here, and I wanted to set out a project where I developed a little box, I don't know if you can see that, like that, with the LCD screen in there, a number of switches which will send ones and zeros instructions to the screen, a button which you press to send the instruction, a read-write button, and a button which says when it's up it's for an instruction, when it's down it sends data. So in order to do that I had to buy some equipment. There's a bag full of equipment there. I also had to get a little circuit board. Make it up, to do some experiments to learn how to do this. Well, it's not as simple as that, because you also have to learn how the control chip works, so a bit of reading, light reading about how the chips work and some of the instructions of what machine code it uses to program the chip, and also the type of characters that can be displayed on the LCD screen. So I had a fun afternoon of going through the diagrams and wiring diagrams, and basically I wired myself up a little experiment. But also I've sent off for a lot of kit in Maplins, and basically what I've bought is all the toggle switches, press switches, and a little box to put it in so I can mount it and use it. So what will be the use of this? Basically in computer science I have a number of tables that we use to do some experiments, and I teach them things like how binary and machine code works, which powers all the computers that you use, even the camera that I'm using at the moment, and your smartphones. So I teach them how a series of instructions are sent to a processor and data is used to make things happen. And the way I can show the effect of things happening is for me to affect a screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down the actual camera now, so there'll be a bit of juddering around, and I'll show you the actual first part of the experiment. Hold on a minute. So there we have the board set up, and as you can see, I've wired it up. This is our Arduino board, and all I'm using that for is to power it. So if you have a look here where the pen's pointing, I've just put some power in there. It's just a simple 12-volt supply, and I've used the several ports on here to wire up the actual LCD display. And then what I did was I sent it instructions to print the characters "Hello World" with an exclamation mark onto the LCD screen, and then set a scroll function in a loop, so it went round and round. So I'll just focus in on that so you can actually see it. The light's not actually fantastically brilliant, but it should give you the general idea once I've focused that in a bit. Just need to do it so that you can actually see what's going on here. Okay, so if I lift it up, you can see that it's scrolling around with Hello World on the actual screen. It's because of the flicker on the screen and that you won't actually get a good view, but you can see that I've controlled the LCD screen. Okay. So you may ask yourself, what's the point in that? Well, basically what I'm trying to do is teach them a concept by building a device. Once I've built it, I'll put it in an actual box, and it will be something that they will be able to flick a few switches, send an instruction to the processor, flick a few more switches, and they do manually that what a computer can do in literally millionths of a second, basically. So that's the first video anyway. So that just shows you the experimental board that I made up, and it's a bit clumsy because I'm having to use loads of wires and basically experiment with what instructions I need to send. But basically what I'm going to do is in the next video I'm going to show you how I'm going to build the actual box when all the equipment arrives, but the snow's preventing them from being delivered at the moment. Well, that's it for this video.